Hi, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to answer this question that I received multiple times in the same week, so I love that we're all on the same frequency and on the same vibe. The question was, Jess, when do you work your magic and why do you choose those days to work your magic? What is your process? And I really want to start off by saying that everyone is different. And when you set intentions and when you pray or when you're actually working magic and doing spells of any sort, every witch or every person has a different method to their madness, so to speak. Not all of us operate the same way, just like not all of us have the same beliefs. And maybe if we do have the same beliefs, maybe we don't do it the same way. So what I'm doing and what I'm talking about in this video is what strictly works for me and what I like to do and how I'm going to continue to work my magic until the day I die. Okay, so for a lot of people, they choose to work their magic and to create spells or candles or oils or bath soaks on certain days. Now, I totally co-sign on that, and I think that that is a good idea, but I never let the day of the week overshadow the energy in the skies, the energy in the cosmos. That's because the energy that is in astrologically that's going on or cosmically that's going on, it's felt so strongly here on Earth. If anything, I follow the phases of the moon, I follow the cycles of the moon, and I'm always constantly pulling charts. Now, as far as a business goes, it's probably not the wisest thing to do because it's almost expected that every Friday that I have, restocking of love spell oils or soul love oils and even money attracting oils on something like Sunday or Thursday, because logically it would make sense. But just because that's that day that, is blessed by that planet, that doesn't mean that that planet currently in the skies is giving all of its energy to actually provide for you in the way that it is that you're setting intention for. So at the end of the day, I'm always pulling the charts to see not only what the day is, I want to check the moon cycles, and I also want to see what's going on cosmically. Now, again, I run the business, I run the apothecary. Those are oils back there that are currently going out to my clients, but I always operate from what is energetically happening. And for that, I'm always constantly creating something special. I'm always constantly creating something in a good amount so there's enough supply for everyone unless it runs out. And then having that stocked in my shop instead of picking Friday to, designate to create love oils or Thursday again for money in abundance, or Monday for prophetic dreams. So for example, let's say there's a Friday. I'm going to keep on using the example Friday because it's the easiest one to work with. So let's say Friday, I have it marked in my calendar that this is obviously the day of love because it's ruled by Venus. Then I'm going to create a whole new batch of love spells. Well, technically on that Friday, if you pulled the chart in that moment, even though Friday is blessed by Venus, Venus is technically getting squared off by, all these planets within the chart cosmically. That doesn't actually support relationships and love to come in. In fact, it could actually be a hindrance. So for me to create an oil or a candle or a mojo bag or a bath soak with the intent that it's going to do that, in reality, what's going on in the cosmos is not supporting what's going on in my magic. Now, at the end of the day, I believe that intention is everything, but I want to make sure that everything is in alignment and everything is working together in order to create success for my clients and also for me. If you're winning, I'm winning. And also, this is my personal belief system. This is my personal practice. So I choose to work on certain days and I make enough. I'm also constantly getting inspired by what's going on in the charts. I pull charts once a week and I can see what's going to happen that week ahead, and I can plan ahead for what oils I'm going to do and what oils I'm going to create and what's going to be restocked. Now, again, from a business perspective, that's probably not the wisest thing, but I always have to keep in mind, and what I want my clients to understand is that BehatiLife was a belief system and a practice before it was ever a business. Now, when I offered my gifts and when I offered my skills and my services to my clients and to the world, I did step into business territory and I learned every step of the way. But one thing I'm never going to compromise on is my magic and my intention and where it is that I come from in my belief system in order to make a profit, in order to make money. That's never going to be what works for me. So, so I will plan ahead for, okay, this day, let's say there's a Monday, right? Let's say a Monday just happens to have this stunning, new moon or full moon, and I can just see how magical it is for love or bringing in money. I'm absolutely, without a doubt, going to create on that day a money oil, a love relationship oil, sleep prophetic oil, a moon oil. Like, I'm going to work with what is going on in the cosmos because my intent is strong and also the cosmos are supporting me. And to support this even further, think about all the times where you have set intentions for yourself and you have worked your magic, and time again those things did not come to fruition. This is because there are like blockages and obstacles that are happening cosmically that you have to wait for a door to open. And you can see when doors open and you can see when doors close, and it's best to work with that energy instead of fight with it. That's something that I say all the time on my channel, is that when you learn how to work with these energies, really nothing is going to stand in your way. You're always going to be achieving. You're always going to be successful. You're always going to be abundantly attracting. Just as I am is how you can be. So what you do is you wait for the perfect time. You wait for the perfect moment, and that's when those doors swing open. Anything else, it kind of cripples the magic. It kind of cripples the effect, or it comes in, but it has baggage to it, or it comes in and there's like a mess, whatever the case may be. So ultimately, that is what works for me. That's how I pick my days, is I work with the cycles of the moon, always and forever. And then also a part of the moon cycle is checking the cosmos, what's going on in the skies, what's going on with the planets, and then I work with that. Another example of this is my Pluto Death Oil. Every time I mention this oil, it turns heads, but it's one of my best sellers within the shop, next to the Love Spell and the Money Abundance Oil that people use all the time with great success. And the reason why the Pluto Death Oil is so powerful and sells so well is because it welcomes in the energy of destruction into that person's lives. And really what happens is that when you invite in the death of anything that is old or anything that is rotten or anything that is stagnant, you create a fertile ground for something new to be brought to life. And that's what the Pluto Death Oil works. Now, there are times, and I'm not going to say the times because there are people who are snakes and have been biting off of my style for a long time, and they say imitation is the highest form of flattery, and in some ways I agree, but in other ways I do need to be very protective and of myself, my magic, and my space. So I'm not going to share it, but there are specific days and specific times and specific things that I look for in order to create the most powerful blend when it comes to the Pluto Death Oil in particular. Anything else, it just simply will not do. I'm not going to just pick one day and be like, okay, this day is ruled by Mars, so let me go ahead and work my magic with that, or this is or let's say Sun is in Scorpio, or whatever the case is. Like, there's specific moments that it is that I work my magic and I work my intention and things that I look for within the chart in order to support the magic and the properties behind that bottle. And then I go into overdrive. I create enough for myself in order to cover myself, knowing fully well that I may need it. I keep some things on deck, on hand for myself, and then I also make enough in supply so that I have them in, well, you can't see it, but on this side there's storage for all of the oils for those that place their order on specific days, for example, like the spring equinox, fall equinox, those types of things. And then I could have those year round because I'm constantly pulling them. I made them in large amounts the day that the event happened, that astrological event happened, and then I have them on deck for those that need it in that moment. Now, for until they sell out. Now, And once they sell out, it's a wrap. You know, it is what it is. I can't recreate the moment until, you know, time moves on, and then I'm able to have that opportunity again. Now, certain things like love oils, money abundance oils, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on what all I have in my shop, but I have so many different oils. Beauty oils, fertility oils, that's another thing too. Goddess vibes, self-love, those types of things, they can actually, they're so easy to work with that maybe in every 2 weeks I'm able to recreate the essence of what is in that bottle, using the same herbs, but still having the blessing of the cosmos to work with. But again, I always wait for the perfect time. Always, always, always. And then that is what you'll find. So hopefully that answers your question on how do I choose my days to work my magic. Again, everyone is different. There are some witches who follow just only the cycles of the moon because that's what they work with, and I understand that 100%. There are some witches that work on certain days of the week, and I understand that because I get it. And I can understand how difficult it is for those of you guys who, don't study astrology or don't understand the charts, fluently, to kind of keep up with all of it. So work your magic. Intention is everything. But for me personally, there's a lot that goes into it. And then other times I could be sleeping and I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I need to make this right now. And I'll make a whole batch. For some reason, my energy is high. And then my clients, when they get those oils, they're like, Jess, I don't know what you did with this. I don't know how you did this. But since I put this oil on me, or since I use this oil, or since I used your soak, this is what my life has looked like, and I have to thank you for that. And thank you guys so much for those emails. I need to start sharing them more. It's my Virgo humble side that just keeps my mouth it keeps me I read the email and I'm like, this is amazing. I'm so happy to see that this works for you just as well as it works for me, but I need to share it more. I'm going to set the intention that I will share it more. But thank you guys so much. For those of you guys that are curious about the shop, if you have shopped with me before, if you haven't, all of the links for that are down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure you're subscribed because I'm going to be answering more questions when it comes to my own magic, when it comes to education, when it comes to life, my own personal life and life in general, intuitive messages. And of course, you already know that I'm always constantly posting weekly forecasts astrologically and intuitively on the channel. So if you're subscribed, then you get that. And if you hit the bell, then you'll be instantly notified as soon as a video uploads. And no, we don't spam you. YouTube doesn't spam. I don't spam. All right? Even those who are signed up to my newsletter, rarely do I send a newsletter out, even though technically as a business I should, but it is what it is. I can't complain about anything that I've done so far, and I don't hear anybody else complaining. So all right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.